What's up guys, this week I have another parcel from Singapore Nerfer Piggy. It's becoming a bit of a common theme, but I don't speak Chinese and he's willing to buy stuff off Taobao for me where there's a lot of good stuff recently. So shout out to Piggy and thank you for sending me another thing yet again from Taobao. Inside here are 100 of a brand new kind of dart called Dragon Darts, a name which reminds me of an old fantasy video game I used to play. Dragon Darts were designed by the team at QWK for their upcoming Challenger Mark III AEG blaster. These darts are made of a material called polypropylene, and it gives it kind of a black dragon scale kind of look to them. And it's the same kind of material used in the failed Hasbro product line Ultra. Unlike the excessively large-sized Ultra darts, these are a standard half-length dart. So what I'm going to do today is, I want to see how they perform in a high-powered Springer blaster like the M20 construct here. I'll start off with an overview of the darts themselves, then I'll get into a comparison of chronograph velocities and accuracy against the brand new worker darts. Let's get started. Dragon darts are currently only available on the Chinese website Taobao, which is why I got Piggy to send these to me. They come in a box of 100 for the equivalent of $27.95 Australian. I'll put US conversions up on the screen too. Oh, and I'll also put a link to these down below if you want to shop on Taobao. Worker darts, for comparison, sell on Taobao for $9.32, and you get a box of 200 rather than 100. So worker darts only cost 4 cents per dart, whereas these cost 7 times more at about 27 cents a dart. Dragon darts are therefore the most expensive Nerf dart that I've ever seen, so I'm very keen to see how they perform. On the scales, compared to a worker dart that weighs 1 gram, Dragon darts only weigh 0.91, so I'd expect Dragon darts to have a slightly higher velocity, but also have less range than a worker dart. Dragon darts have a bamboo shape to them, so only where the wider parts of foam are actually contact the inside of your barrel, so they should lead to lower friction. In the past, I haven't really found any major advantage to bamboo rings in high-performance blasters, but in blasters from the likes of Dart Zone and potentially even the Challenger Mark III that it's designed for, this could shoot higher velocities due to the bamboo rings and the lighter weight. The glue quality of these darts is actually pretty good. However, the weak point seems to be the rubber that they've used to make the tip out of. If I pull on it, it actually snaps the stem off and leaves that inside the foam, and the tip is separated. The force required to snap that stem in half is about the same amount of force that it takes to rip a head completely off of a worker dart. In practice though, I haven't seen any of the Dragon darts actually break from firing them, same with worker darts. Something I did find though is that out of that box of 100 Dragon darts, about 5 of them had missing chunks of foam out of them. Polypropylene does make these more rigid than standard Nerf darts. However, I wonder if they're more brittle because of it. But now let's head outside to the Battle for Waterloo skirmish field and conduct some testing. Starting off with velocity, I'll fire 10 of each dart over the chronograph, beginning with worker darts for a baseline. Just for the record, I need a new spring in the Sabre M20 because I accidentally left it cocked for a week, which makes it a bit weaker. With worker darts, I got a high of 269, a low of 257, and an average of 265. The range from lowest to highest figure was only 12 FPS, which is really good. And now I'll fire 10 Dragon darts. With the Dragon Darts, I got 285 as the high, a low of 210, and an average of 271 if you include that 210 figure, which I assume was a bad dart that might have been glued poorly. If we don't include that one, we got an average of 278. And if you include the bad dart, we got a range of 75 from highest to lowest. But if you exclude it as an outlier, we got a range of 17, which is still worse than the worker darts. So overall, I'd say Dragon Darts, as predicted, have a higher velocity, likely due to being lighter. They were worse in consistency than worker, and I predict that they may be less accurate and drop shorter on the target as well. But now, let's actually compare the accuracy. This target is 30 meters away from where I'll be firing from, and it has a diameter of 1 meter. The black tape that I've stuck on there as a cross is actually where I'll be aiming, so that the darts mostly go in the center. I'm doing that rather than zeroing my scope because every blaster I put it on, the zero changes and I have to redo it for every video. First up, I'll be firing worker darts for a baseline. Every worker dart hit the target and the grouping was about 30 centimeters wide. So now I'll try Dragon Darts, which I predict being lighter will have less range than the worker darts. So they'll drop lower on the target, at least in theory. The Dragon Darts did indeed drop lower on the target. In fact, one fell short of the target down there on the right. The rest of the grouping was not bad. All of those would fit within the target area if I had have aimed higher. But in comparison to the worker darts, because of how good they are, there's simply no contest. Let's head back inside for my conclusions. Firstly, I just want to remind you that these darts were designed for the upcoming Challenger Mark III AEG blaster, which has a much lower velocity than the Sabre M20 I used today. I have no idea how they perform out of the Challenger Mark III because I don't have one, but what I can tell you is that fired out of my most accurate and most precise blaster, the Sabre M20, they had less range than a worker dart, and they also weren't as accurate as a worker dart. Dragon darts are also 7 times more expensive than the worker darts that outperformed them. So unless they magically make the Challenger Mark III blaster work better and you have a Challenger Mark III, I would suggest not getting these. On the plus side, by using Dragon Darts today, I figured out that at some point I must have surpassed level 60 in my ranged skill. And on that note, I'm ending the video here. Make sure you're subscribed for future content and do the likes and the comments and all that kind of stuff. And I'll see you on the next video.